if you understand the rapid changes that you've been going through internally, but reality's been trying to catch up with you. Reality has been reconfiguring itself to try to correspond, right, with all the internal transformations that have occurred within you. And the physical things are the last things to take place. And I was hearing the physical things are what it is that you're about to experience now. And I'm seeing reality having to literally catch up, like having a task of a to-do list of things and people and circumstances that are being orchestrated and downloaded into your third dimensional experience that are in resonance with this frequency that is now your state of homeostasis. So that's what I'm seeing. It's like, I don't know how to like stress it enough, but it's almost the moment where a child begins kind of walking, and then it begins, I know, crawling, and then it starts walking, and then it starts touching everything and grabbing everything, and you're having to kind of, what would be the right word? Kind of assess. But I'm seeing more than just assess, like evaluate, observe, and watch over. So just feel like you're being watched over as these, I'm seeing things are being delivered to you into the physical, all right? Things are being delivered to you in the physical. And right now the time is 1:44 on the clock. So this is literally about angel numbers. That just shifted, right? 144. Actually, my angel number message is inside, but we'll go ahead and read 144 real quick. It's a message from the angels, literally. So let's see. It's a positive sign from the universe and your guardian angel, signaling a time of spiritual awakening, personal growth, and focusing on your true aspirations. It encourages a positive mindset to manifest your dreams, offers a reminder to stay aligned with your spiritual path, and suggests peace and stability. Fulfillment is on the horizon if you remain open and focused on the new opportunities that await you. So again, this is something about you being guided to take certain action that's going to reap certain rewards, and I'm hearing the rewards is going to be all that you're reaping right now. Like that's the energy that's coming through, because we had the cornucopia right before this, which is actually about an abundant harvest. So that's the energy, and this is about seeds that have been planted within you since the beginning of time that you've been nurturing and caring and tending to, and suddenly it's almost like major growth that's happening, because I'm hearing it's you're entering into a season where that growth occurs. Okay, so the energy I was seeing was reality and the scenes around you are shifting, right? Because reality is reconfiguring itself. And because of this reconfiguration that's taking place, I'm seeing you kind of be at the eye of the storm where you're witnessing changes happen around you. And again, this is what I'm seeing. Almost like, how do I say it? Almost I'm like they're showing me a walkie-talkie right now. So I feel like this is intercommunication and things that are happening behind the veils where it's like da da da. I'm seeing over like, oh, okay, let's get into it. Oh, Larry has been operating in bandwidth DTE for a long time, and you know that's kept him bound to a certain reality, but suddenly he's beginning to embody A to B. Oh, okay. Larry's been embodying A to B. Yeah. Before he was on DTE, but now he's embodying A to B. All right, so we need to actually change some things in his reality to mirror that frequency, right? Because now he's in resonance with different kind of dimensional planes and opportunities and circumstances and an ecosystem full of experiences that occupy those planes. Okay, right. So, all right, let's start downloading certain things into his reality, right? Let's start downloading certain things into his realm. And Larry's here, and he's kind of witnessing shifts are happening slowly, right? Because in the third density, you know, it takes time for things to begin to collapse into space and time and become part of your third dimensional experience, right? It's a much more dense plane. It's moving through, you know, almost like you can think about it as quicksand or like mud, right? Or moving through really, really, you know, dense, heavy current kind of waters, okay? So it takes a little bit more time just naturally. But eventually, one day Larry wakes up and he receives a message, right? I'm seeing 8 of Wands. He receives an opportunity. Maybe it comes in the form of an email. It comes in the form of something where, okay, I'm also seeing the 3 of Wands, right? Something that he's been waiting for, quantum entanglement and the law of attraction, right? He's been kind of calling this thing in. And eventually, the ships, they dock at the bay and they're awaiting him to kind of aboard the ship so he can begin to set sail towards a new kind of horizon. But the day's actually come, right? Four of Wands. It's leading him towards some kind of tangible outcome. It's almost like they're saying, Larry, you have to begin to say yes to this thing. You need to be able to do this thing. And we're going to take you there, right? And that's what I'm seeing. It's more than you even just being taken somewhere. It's about something being brought towards you. But it's a meeting point of some kind. So I'm seeing like a meeting in the middle. Okay, so this is about a world-line collision that's being orchestrated into your life during this time. But anyway, I was seeing like quantum analogy and you being a character that's not just respawning into a reality, but a new reality is beginning to load into your experience, right? So if you're in a video game as a character, when you respawn, it's not that you alone actually kind of re-enter a game, but the entire level begins to reload around you, right? That's what's going on during this time. And, you know, the world textures, the maps, the NPCs, all of the reconfigurations to kind of match the state that you were previously in begin to update, right? They begin to actually respawn into new characters. They begin to respawn into new textures, new landscapes, new maps, right? Different things of this nature, right? There's a reconfiguration that happens. So this is something that you're kind of meeting, all right? I'm hearing more than meeting. This is an aspect of yourself that you've met, and reality is now meeting you where you are. Okay, reality is meeting you where you are now. So that's what you're witnessing right now. And the other energy I was seeing too was on a quantum level, this is resonance. So frequency begins to collapse certain potentials, right, that are vibrating in a superposition. So very, very changeable into tangible scenes. So there is a new tangible scene that you're beginning to witness take place and unfold in your life during this time. And your resonance no longer matches the old map, okay? That map can no longer sustain itself. That network begins to break down because I'm seeing you being the battery pack that not just charges, but also recharges and refuels that realm, okay? So it's almost like, for example, if you keep recharging, you know, let's just say a certain reality, you keep reinforcing it through your thoughts. I'm never going to make out this job, all right? And emotionally, you're kind of charging bioelectrically even those thoughts, and you become the embodiment of that's never, 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 never going to happen. And reality loves you so much that it begins to mirror that never. Something around a shift, right? From Larry, right, our example, operating from D to E and then moving to A to B, where he begins to say, actually, you know what? I don't have to be here, right? There's something around what are the belief systems that I hold that make me believe that I am, you know, I'm subject to forces beyond my control and this is all that there is for me. Instead, there's a new lattice, right, of probabilities that begins to open up into his awareness, right? Maybe there is a different application that begins to download into a third-dimensional experience. I'm hearing like planting little seeds and ideas. This is where the universe has been planting little seeds, and the universe is you, right? This is where you've been planting seeds for your character to begin to awaken within the construct. And because of that, there's a new quantum level, right? It's almost like it's stitching a new kind of coherence where you're able to actually tune into the environment that you perceive in the third dimensional realm and see that there is almost like a quantum grid that you're connected to. Maybe there is someone else I'm hearing within that network that says, you know what, I'm going to leave. They're mirroring a different kind of potential reality to you, right? They're mirroring and reinforcing this knowing that you do not have to stay. That's like an energy that's coming through like very, very strongly. Because of that, you begin to introduce different thoughts. Okay, I'm hearing into your atmosphere, and you begin to actually witness the collapse of an old way of being within yourself first. Okay, we're witnessing the collapse of an old way of being. And then instead of you respawning into a new reality, the old stage begins to dissolve, right? Things that you thought were true, okay, and you once believed to be true, are things that you've now outgrown. So it's no longer being sustained. You're interrupting that, you know, self-created kind of cycle of suffering that you can keep yourself in. So if you think of your consciousness as almost like the game engineer, right? The battery pack, where your frequency points towards is the kind of textures that your reality will begin to take form in, right? It's the reality that will begin to download into your experience and maybe even re-download or continue to be reinforced. But that reality begins to break down the moment I'm hearing that you begin to break through certain aspects of yourself that have kept you bound and tied and in resonance to that reality. So I'm hearing the moment that you break through those thoughts, the moment that you break through those emotions. And to break through is to go beyond. You know, that's what I'm seeing. It's like the moment where you introduce a different way of thinking about your circumstance, you introduce a different way of feeling about your circumstance. And as a result of that, you introduce a different circumstance, right? I'm hearing a different circumstance is introduced to you. And that's what happens when you're no longer in resonance with an old network. The code begins to collapse and the server kind of begins shutting down. You begin to literally witness the old paradigm that you were once a part of dissolve all around you. And this reality is not static. Instead, it's a continuous summation of infinite quantum paths, each encoded as a wave of possibility within your field. So as there is a shutdown of an old network, there is instantaneously the reboot of a new server. And what happens is that there is this almost seamless continuity of those respawns. Each scene bleeds into one another in a way that appears like nothing's changed at all. There are minute changes I'm hearing where the frequency that you begin to broadcast leads to small shifts and small changes that occur until one day you find yourself in an entirely new scene altogether. So the self doesn't move through new realities. Instead, reality begins to reconfigure itself around the self. And what happens is it collapses into coherence, whatever your strongest resonance is, right? Whatever your strongest vibration is, like a character in a game, you begin to respawn into an entirely new map because a new map begins to take form around you. Binary star, something that was always transversing your path, right? This talks about something that has always been following you. Solar Zenith is literally about source playing in its own creation, right? Solar Zenith is a very, very powerful card. It literally talks about the highest point, literally, even beyond this solar system. So this is where you become aware of this contract has been designed for you to win. Like, you have designed the levels in a way that actually complements your every intention that you've had before this incarnation. Solar Zenith. So Solar Zenith talks about going beyond the mind. We meet the sun at its highest point, right? This talks about the point where the observer and the energy centers are perfectly aligned. So this is where source leads through you and it begins to exist in everything around you. This is where source energy flows through you and bleeds into everything that you do, into every step that you take, into every decision that you make, right? It is filled with the highest possible infinite potential, right? This is about the potential of your decisions, the potential that you have in this reality as a creator playing within its own creation. So Solar Zenith is located above the head. It forms a ladder straight up to the sky. It's directly related to the last energy point of our microcosm and the connection to the heavens. Not only did the sun rise for you, but it's in perfect balance with your being. So literally everything is aligned for your highest possible, existence in this plane. And that's what it feels like right now. You're stepping into a more luminescent existence, for sure. because you're remembering yourself as a light being, experiencing limits just to break free from them. Okay, so you are the character. Let's see what character you are embodying in the tarot right now. We have 3. We have the Wheel of Fortune. We also have the 2 of Wands and the 7 of Coins. Okay, and the 6 of Wands here at the base. Right. This is super interesting because the character that you're embodying right now is basically somebody who, 2 of Wands, is aligning their self in the physical with a choice point. Do I choose the familiar that leaves me feeling unfulfilled? Or do I open up to a different world map, right? Do I make a decision where I step into the unknown and I begin to make friends with it, realizing that everything that I've ever wanted awaits for me in this world map? It's like as you begin to walk down the path begins to collapse all around you. And the Wheel of Fortune is literally about fortune's wheel, right? Fortunate, destined turning points that you begin to embrace. Again, it may not be instantly gratifying in the 3rd density, but there is inevitable growth that happens in a linear fashion. You see, it's that dog. In this realm, we experience the beauty of planting the seed and there being the distance between when that seed blossoms into a tree. We get to experience the linear stages of that and the unfoldment. In higher dimensional realms, the tree already exists before the seed is planted. And there's something around you planting the seed with that desire, not in hopes of moving towards that desire, because within the seed holds the DNA, holds the infinite potential of not just the tree, but a whole ecosystem of experiences. Within you being seeded into this planet holds the potential of the whole forest. But you get to experience the gap between that, which is the gift. You get to experience the journey of vibrating in frequency of D and E, and then also A and B, and seeing how they can both coexist. How you are both the seed and the tree. How you are the tree experiencing itself as a seed, just to witness the unfoldment of what your full potential looks like. It's beautiful. And you're also the one that gets to experience what it's like sitting under the shade of that tree. But I'm hearing the journey is tending and caring and consciously guiding your path, and your silence being its own transmission. You know, the applaud is something internally. You become a witness to how far it is that you've come. Trees do not announce their growth. I feel like you're about to find yourself in a complete different domain. And I'm hearing the cycle continues. This is multiple seeds that you're planting. I'm seeing you also be the seed that's grown into this beautiful tree, but then also the fruit that you harvest, right, creates other extensions of yourself. So this could be about, you know, Source playing its own creation, solar zenith. And everything that you create is an extension of the self. It also holds that infinite potential. Infinite potential bleeds into anything that you do because you infuse that essence into it. Because if you think about it, the center of the cell holds the DNA, right? The nucleus holds the memory of its infinite potential. When we focus on procreation or creating in this realm, I'm hearing that's where your cells exist in the thing that you create. and I'm hearing that animates and takes on a life of its own. So there's something that you're breathing new life into, and I'm hearing it's the game itself. So with that being said, I'm going to love an Evie right there. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, do consider subscribing. We'd love to have you around. Personal reading details also down below. There's going to be a waiting list for October though. And what else? Yeah, check out Otter Spirit if you guys are looking for some high quality AA grade jewelry. They're a small family owned business that handcraft these beautiful AAA grade jewelry. We have amethyst. We also have black tourmaline and also citrine on today. And this is the Eclipse pack, right? And yeah, $1 for proceeds are donated towards Otter Sanctuaries as well, so you have a discount code for that down below. And I'll speak to you very soon. We have a lot of interesting things upcoming. So yeah, that's going to be it. Until next time, bye!
Clouds in the sky.